Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Josh. Welcome back to Squatch Cooks. Today we are doing a corned beef, onions, potatoes, cabbage. You know, the whole Irish gig here. It is St. Patrick's Day, and I just wanted to keep it simple and do something with a corned beef. So we've got 2.5 pounds of a corned beef brisket flat. I opted into going with the flat this time. Didn't want to deal with the fats and whatnot that you would get on like a tip or something. So that's what I got this year, a brisket flat just from Safeway. We've got some potatoes. It's just me and the wife. So 2 red potatoes, some previously cut onion, cabbage, and I'm gonna be putting Guinness in mine. This is something new for me, but I've been seeing recipes with it and it looks awfully good. One ingredient that I don't have here is chicken stock. I'll be using some of that, but I'll show you that later. It's gonna be quick, simple, crock pot, St. Patty's Day corned beef. So we've got the crock pot over here. I went ahead and opened up the corned beef that we got from Safeway. A lot of people will say, take the corned beef out and dry it off. Absolutely not. We will not be doing that on this channel. You want all the flavoring that you can get. They sometimes they'll send a pickling packet in these, or sometimes they'll just have it in the juice like this one is. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put the whole thing in here, juice and all, because we want all the flavor we possibly can get out of this thing. So there's that corned beef in the crock pot. Next, we're gonna chop up the onion, potatoes, and all that and get it thrown in here. Just got the corned beef in there, and I just wanted to give you guys a little bit, you know, a little bit of a history lesson here. A lot of people associate corned beef with a traditional Irish dish, and that's about half true. So the origination of corned beef is early Irish settlers coming to the US. They wanted to have cured meats, and cured pork was really expensive at the time, so they wanted to figure out a way to utilize beef because it was a lot cheaper, and that was the creation of corned beef. Basically, corned beef, all it means is salt cured meat. There's nothing to do with corn in it. There's no corn whatsoever in corned beef, but corned is basically the granules of salt and the different seasonings curing the meat, and that's where you get the origination or the word corned, which gives you your corned beef and that unique flavor. So that's a little bit of a history for you. The Irish dish isn't fully Irish. We're still gonna treat it like it is, you know, 100% Irish. Get some Guinness in there. We're gonna pour this and we're gonna cover about halfway up of the corned beef. All right, so we got all of our ingredients cut up here. Basically potatoes, I just rinsed those off and then didn't peel the skin or anything off, just cut those into half and then thirded those halves. So we got nice big chunks there. Took the cabbage, it's just me and the wife, so I took half the head of the cabbage, halved it, cut the butt end off, and then we're gonna put those in later. We're gonna go in with the onions and the potatoes now, but just cut those into 2 wedges, and then we had quite a big onion, so I took this half of the onion, cut it in half again, so I guess quarter of an onion, and then cut it into thirds to give us our onion wedges, as you can see. So potatoes, onions going in the crock pot now, and then the cabbage will go in later, about 2 hours before we're done with the cook. All right, potatoes and onions are in. Now what we'll do is we will take this, and you wanna make sure that you leave enough room to get those wedges on there later. But now that we've got this, I'll take my Guinness, and I'll cover the corned beef about halfway, and then completely cover the corned beef with the chicken stock, and then set this on low and let it ride for, you know, 4 to 6 hours. Guys, so we're about to pop this Guinness and get it poured in here. If you've never had Guinness, any of my beer drinkers out there, people that love a good stout, Guinness is unreal. A little bit spendy sometimes, but it's really, it's a dark, creamy kind of a beer. Something that is, you know, not for just your, I don't know what to call it, like your average weekend beer drinker. This is something that, it's got a unique taste, but super good. Go ahead and pop this open. Let the nitrate marble that's inside this can do its thing for about a minute, and then we'll get it poured on in. All right, so I let this sit for, you know, 45 seconds to a minute. So now we're gonna pour it in nice and slow and get that corned beef about halfway covered. Okay, so that's about halfway. Now we'll add our chicken stock. And like I said, you just want it to barely cover the beef. So go ahead and pour this all over the place. Okay, and right about there, we've got the beef completely covered. So now the next step is to go ahead and put the lid on, like so. Turn it on to low, and you just let it sit We'll check on it in 4 to 6 hours, and we'll add the cabbage wedges to the top. All right, so we're back here at the crock pot. This is going to be the first look. I haven't taken the lid off or anything, but it's been about 4.5 hours now, so we're going to go ahead and take a peek at how this is looking and possibly toss the cabbage wedges inside. So let's take a look. All right, so it looks like everything's softening up. Some moisture's came out of the brisket, so there's a little bit more moisture than I'd like. But when we put the cabbage in here, it'll absorb some of that. So we're looking pretty good. Still need a couple hours on that. Brisket's feeling, oh yeah, nice and tender. Grab myself a fork and I'll poke these potatoes, see if they're softening up, and go from there. All right, let's see how these potatoes are doing. Oh yeah, they're getting semi-tender. Okay. I think for the last 2 hours or so, I'm gonna put the cabbage wedges in here, and then I might turn it on high for the last 2 hours to get this thing really up and simmering and boiling. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab those wedges, toss them in here, and I'll give you guys an idea what it's gonna look like for the next 2 hours. All right, so the wedges are in, and I pressed them down a little bit into this jus here. So we've still got the potatoes going, getting them softened up a little bit. The cabbage will go ahead and soften up. Yeah, and hopefully we get this to a simmer. So go ahead and toss the lid on. I'm gonna put it on high for the next 2 hours and see how that's doing. All right, so the corned beef has been in here roughly 6 hours now. Wife just got home, so we're gonna check on it. Looks like everything's starting to absorb and soften up nice. So I'll go ahead and pull this out. All right, so we got the jus, the vegetables, and the meat separated. I'm gonna go ahead and plate this up, show you guys what I do with a little bit of mustard on mine and everything. But that's cooked done.